first exercise in the Pilates series is called the 100, and the 100 can be done with or without a prop. For our instance today, we will be using a flat band. So start off by lying down on your back, taking the band underneath the arch of both feet, and taking hold of the hands here. Now, there's a couple of things I want you to think of first before we start getting excited about this exercise. We have to look at our form and technique. So at this point, you want your shoulders to be pushed back towards the mat, which brings your ears right above your shoulders. Now your pelvis, remember your pubic bone is aiming towards the floor. Rib cage opens a little bit, so now squeeze the rib cage in. Hands go down by your sides and lift up into a crunch position. Now, this lift didn't necessarily come from the neck and shoulders. It came from squeezing the ribs. So think of it here. Hold here, arms are down. Now squeeze the rib cage so tight that it lifts you up. From this point, start to press your hands down. So you're doing a couple of things while we're doing this exercise. Now granted, I am turning my head. I would prefer that you hold your head in one position. But I want you to think your pubic bone is aiming down to the floor. Your shoulders are pinned back into the mat, and the rib cage is held tight because that's what's keeping you up and off the floor. Now, depending on the client, depending on your own personal fitness level, you may be able to hold this position for a full 100, just like Joseph Pilates did. Or maybe you can't, and that's okay. Your form and technique really is the most important part of that exercise. So keeping in mind, remember all of our stress points. Shoulders are back and down, right? What lifts you up into the crunch position is not your upper body, it's your rib cage. So you're squeezing your ribs in and down towards your pubic bone. At the same time, your pubic bone should be aiming down to the floor so that your pubic bone and the upper edge of your pelvis are parallel to the ground, and then your legs are up. Now, if somebody is inflexible, actually, let me take you back down here. So there are people who don't necessarily have the flexibility to hold here. Maybe their legs are here. Maybe they just can't keep their legs up. So with that said, you don't have to have the band. You could be staying right here. The key is this positioning from your tailbone to your shoulders. As long as this is held perfect, everything else goes. But sometimes you have to modify. So when the legs are up, that's harder. But when your legs are down or closer to the center of your body, it makes things easier. Now, the key though is not to pull our knees all the way in, because look at what happened to my pelvis. So we still have to keep the tailbone down into the floor, but we could drop our feet if we wanted to, hold them up, or extend our legs up. So from there, it really depends on the person's flexibility and their strength levels, but just making sure that the core is doing exactly what it should be doing. You never want to compromise the core to make some exercise seem or appear that it's bigger than it really is. That's how people get hurt.